Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the Houston Oilers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Houston Oilers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you take a look at our home side as we enter play here. And they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
Which of these 0-3 teams will visit the win column for the first time? We'll see. We're underway here in Week 4. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading the charge will be their quarterback. Always fun to watch, Deshaun Watson.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
They go play action here on first down. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. From the gun, here's Watson. He dumps it underneath for Taylor. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. It kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
The last completion actually lost a yard, so now they'll need to convert on 3rd down. Watson. And this is going to be incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. And taken right on the 30. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. Ryan Tannehill will be orchestrating the offense, the top 10 pick back in 2012.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Deshaun Gibson there on the tackle. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
And they'll go on the ground. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 22 carries, 70 yards.
Are we playing old school football now? We got the top 10 rusher in the league. He's sitting at number 10, but he has a chance to move up with a big-time game. So expect that offensive line every time they go to the bench and tell the offensive coordinator, let's run the football.
On 1st and 10, Tannehill. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. On the defensive side here, the starters for the Texans. This unit against the pass, hoping to get better for sure. Number 25 in the NFL right now.
They're in the bottom 10 in the league. I mean, when you look at their talent, you would think that they'd be much better. Overall, I don't think there's any question you'd have to say that they've underachieved.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. On 2nd and 10, Tannehill. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. It's a loss of 7. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, that wasn't exactly a work of art, was it?
No, that wasn't a thing of beauty. That's just why I don't play in points per reception fantasy league.
Is that what they call
the receiver still gets a point there. Yeah. And you went that far back. No bueno.
But I'll tell you what.
And a loose football. And the Texans scoop it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. And hopefully for both sides, not a sign of things to come, Charles. This morning, it was so perfect outside, but we knew this weather was coming, and we see the effects of it here early on.
And I wonder if how perfect it was this morning has psychologically fooled everyone. You know, it's almost like even though we were told the weather was coming, and you know the teams knew it as well, then maybe they got fooled and thought, it's going to be okay. And now they're probably a little upset that it's out there.
Because warm-ups were dry.
Oh, we're dry, and now you've got to make the change up, and it's the first quarter. Might take them a little time to settle in on their focus and concentration.
And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
DeAndre Hopkins was named All-Pro for the first time in 2017, and really don't have to do much but look at the statistics to know why. 4 touchdown grabs in 2016, jumped that up to 13 in 2017. That led all NFL receivers. Also added in 96 catches and close to 1,400 yards. DeAndre Hopkins' ability to get free in the secondary is a marvel, mainly because of head fakes and body control.
The receiving numbers for Hopkins a week ago. 7 catches, 85 yards.
And most teams mark down big plays as ones that gain 10 yards or more. He certainly has big playability, and we just saw it on display.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target. And now it's 2nd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. And they come in a top 10 unit against the pass, currently 8th in the NFL.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Taylor, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Bringing him down defensively, Jayon Brown.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete.
I wonder, Brandon, I just wonder, you think maybe he was worried about where he was on the field? Was he far enough? Was he close enough to the 1st down sticks?
Absolutely. He was right there by him, and I think he was thinking 1st down before he caught that football.
Yeah, got to catch it first, because if you don't catch it, there's no chance of picking up a 1st down.
Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And they got across the 50 last time but fumbled and turned it over, so they'll be looking to have a short-term memory here, Mr. Davis.
Not only a short-term memory, but a whole lot better ball security. Because if they take care of the ball, continue to move it, their chances of scoring some points, they've got to feel pretty good about. They thought they had things moving in the right direction last time. Fumbles, they don't just affect you on offense, they affect your overall team because now your defense has to make that stand up. Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. And they'll run it here. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 9 good yards there on the run, and now third down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Jadeveon Clowney there on the stop.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Tannehill. And he rifles one incomplete. The intended receiver that time, Adam Humphries. And that'll make it third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. And the Texans set to come onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. Man open, that's Kiki QT complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. A gain of 32 that time.
Usually hitting a deep post pattern, as we just saw there for a big gainer, that's tough to do because you usually have a safety or two in the middle of the field. But if you hit enough crossers and underneath routes and curls, you start to get those guys creeping up, wanting to make plays on the football. It's the equivalent of a changeup in baseball. You show your other stuff, throw the changeup, and on that play, it worked for big yardage.
Just like that, out of danger and up past the 40 now for 1st and 10. On the handoff, this is Taylor. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
On 2nd down, here's Watson. And he'll find QT on the right side complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
False start, offense.
Now they nab the rookie there for the 5-yard penalty.
So much going through his head. You know it just has to be, right? All of his assignments and realizing every game he plays, one of the better players in the league will be opposite him.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And that is incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
So not much to speak of scoring-wise in this 1st quarter of play. 0-0 our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you and you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the hometown guys with a football here to begin this 2nd quarter of play. They face a 2nd and 7 to start things out. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. And he finds Corey Davis. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a 1st down as well. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap, to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Now we'll look at Kiki QT as he and the rest of the offense gear up to go again. There's a lot of talk in training camp about him getting off to a hot start this year, saying that they needed that. Well, he's done it through the first month.
It kind of reminds me of one of those great musical groups where one person has their name out front, then they have the backup.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
And Brandon, the passing game for both of these teams is going to be affected as the game goes along. It's not looking like the rain's going to let up anytime soon. So that might mean a few more wobbly passes and wide receiver slips. And this one winds up getting intercepted.
Now this offense about ready to take over again. They were forced to punt last time. I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
To throw on 2nd down is Tannehill. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And last time, 1 play interceptions. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. Give him 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets him 6. Watson now to throw. Looking left side, he's got it complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They run with Taylor. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
To throw on 2nd is Watson. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
The Texans on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 5. A shotgun snap for Watson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. It makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Here's Brian Anger now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he'll get him a little space here up to the 5-yard line. Tackle made by Whitney Merciless.
And give him a lot of credit there, but even more credit to the guys up front. In that situation, you know it's going to be a stacked defensive front. And to be able to gain that much yardage, that's a big win for the guys on offense.
Yeah, they were just about standing on their own goal line, so to get a few yards there, a great start. Now we'll see what 2nd down brings. He's got room to run past the 20. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
Okay, every now and then, my defensive bias will leak out here. Abysmal play for them. You've got them backed up, and you let them out.
Take advantage. And you know who's happy? The punter. Because if he was needed, they gave him a lot of space to work with now.
Yeah, because he would have had a lot to think about, right? Don't step over the back line and give him a safety. Now he's got room if he needed it.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that's caught inside the 30. A huge play there for Houston. 51 yards. Nothing conservative about that play call. You said earlier in the quarter you wanted to see them open things up, maybe take some shots downfield. There you go.
Yeah, that one was successful. But even if they're not successful, when you take those shots downfield, they've got to back off a little bit, loosen up a little bit on defense, and give you a little bit more room if you want to run the football.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Now it's Tannehill, and finding the tight end Hooper. And he's got the 1st down as he gets it to the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. 2 minutes remain in a scoreless 1st half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
So it looks like somebody may have forgotten the snap count, and a 5-yard penalty ensues.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5. That false start knocks them back behind the 10 now as they'll try again, 1st and goal. From the gun, here's Tannehill. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on second down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. So an incomplete pass a moment ago, and that leads to 2nd and goal. Throwing again is Tannehill. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. In for the score. And his guys are able to strike for 6. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Ryan Suckup on for the point after. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after's up and good, and that makes the score 7-0. So that drive in total 8 plays, and the result a Houston touchdown. Now here's Suckup out to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Getting set to go again, DeAndre Hopkins marches back onto the field. You would have to think they're going to make it more of a priority to get him the football. You're losing here in the second quarter, and he's been really quiet.
I think all we have to do, and it's too bad we can't actually see the actual play sheet now from the coordinator, because he's looking down at that and saying, okay, do I put him in different spots? Do I try and isolate him? What routes do I run? You're exactly right. They've got to get the ball in his hands and get their offense kick-started.
He does have the 2 catches, but pretty quiet so far. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. Out of the gun, Watson. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. DeForest Buckner in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Here's Watson now on 2nd down. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, that's Taylor, and he'll be well short of a 1st down as he stopped again right at the line of scrimmage. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Brian Anger now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And this will be taken at the 13. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. On 1st down, it's Tannehill. And his throw here is incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Back to the air, Tannehill on 2nd down. And he slings one that's incomplete.
Well, touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
This offense so far on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. And they'll run it here. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. Fielding just inside the 20. A big kick, 50 yards that time with a return of 4. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he will find his man on the outside. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Back to throw, Watson. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs. On 1st down, Watson. He dumps it underneath for Taylor. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it 2nd down. Watson looks to throw again. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, time for a trip around the league on this final weekend of September. We'll begin up at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. And it's the Ravens out in front as that game moves towards halftime. Lamar Jackson has a touchdown pass. Next, we take a trip down the coast to Miami to check on the Dolphins at home at Hard Rock Stadium. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting New England Patriots. Marcus Mariota, a touchdown pass. Lastly, let's get up to Buffalo to check on the Bills. And you can see there, it's the visiting LA Rams who have the lead in that one. Cooper Kupp, a touchdown reception. Meanwhile, in our game, just the lone touchdown accounting for all the scoring. A tight one, 7-0 is the score. And for the call of the second half, we send it back to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now back out comes the offense. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else. I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. The tackle that time by Zach Cunningham.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling.
3rd and 2, right? So this is a situation where low man has got to win at the line of scrimmage, but it's not just the low man winning. It's the low man who's winning with some force, and they had that to pick up the first down.
Barely picking it up, but they did. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On 1st down, Tannehill. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
20!
Now a play fake, and it's Tannehill. And Davis with it left side. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Tannehill now 9 of 16 through the air as he's got it 1st and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Brian Bonnie Calhoun. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the 2nd half. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is
and hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. To throw on 3rd down. Watson finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And here now the offense heading back out there. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
So this is what happens when you throw interceptions. That confident veneer that you have gets chipped away a little bit. Maybe a little bit gun-shy throwing it around.
Yeah, underthrowing him there, and you're right. Those interceptions may be in the back of his mind. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
This is taken at about the 14. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave them with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Foreseeing completion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
Down! Back 22! Back!
Now Watson on 3rd down. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. DeForest Buckner in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
And that's the 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Houston. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line. Now this offense ready to head back out there. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on 2nd down. A tight end carry for Delaney Walker. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. For this offense on 3rd down today, they've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 8. From his goal line here, Tannehill. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. Look at the spin.
Balance.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And that will come the offense as they take over. And here comes the Texans now. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Finding some room at midfield. And brought down across the 50 to the 49-yard line. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Right back to him on 1st down. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On 3rd down, that's Taylor. And he's going to have the 1st down, yardage to the 35. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's Texans football, but they trail here as we get started in the 4th quarter. Watson on first down. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Throw right side into the hands of Akins. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll be a third and about 13. To the air yet again, Watson. And he's got it. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Kiki QT, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. Those are the touchdowns that aren't just scored on Sundays or on Monday night. Those are the ones that are scored during the week because they had that preparation in a great route run.
Oh, I love that observation because you don't just roll out on game day and say, okay, go run this route and let's get it done. That means exactly what you said. The practice had to occur beforehand, which led to the timing, which led to the touchdown.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the fourth. So that drive takes them down the field in 8 plays. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender. But you also have to give your own guy a chance, too.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10.
Good. Ready.
2nd and 10. Tannehill once more. Uncorks one for Davis. And got his man complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flipped field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. And that is incomplete. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Tannehill. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the 3rd in the game. And, boy, they've really played well attacking the football.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to break our 4th quarter tie. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
On first down, it's Watson. Throw left side, complete to QT. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. A gain of 6 there on first.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. On 2nd down, here's Watson. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Still fighting. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there of 22.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
Back 22! Back 22!
Again, it's Watson. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. LaShawn Sims with the INT.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for him. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who've had the receivers on lockdown.
Now Corey Davis and the rest of his offense getting ready for their next drive. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, from a defensive perspective, Didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And they'll go on the ground. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. They're looking at a 4th down now as they try to hold on to this lead for dear life. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And Suckup will put this one right through. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Deshaun Watson of the Texans offense trot back out there. And he knows it. They know it. Everybody in this stadium knows a touchdown and a PAT, and they can walk away with a win.
So it's time to focus and just focus on the task at hand. Everything that's been practiced along the way. This 2-minute drill is practiced all the time. How things have to be run, the types of plays that they like in this situation, the types of throws the quarterback likes, get it downfield. But there is a little extra urgency because they know they can finish it right here. Touchdown, and as you said, PAT, and they walk off the field winners.
Down 6 in crunch time.
Back 22! Back 22!
He'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
Down! Who ready? Who ready?
They'll look to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down. Got to be careful here. They need to move quickly, but it's also 4th. He's back to throw. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. So now let's look at the situation. They do have all 3 timeouts remaining, so barring a first down, they could conceivably get the ball back.
So now it's all about defense and stopping the clock. Don't give up any yardage, right? Use your timeouts. And your offense always practices going downfield without timeouts. You know, those 2-minute drills, most of them are run in practice without the benefit of timeouts. They want to make it as tough a situation as possible. They're in it right now.
And they'll run it here. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Victory very much in sight now as they'll take a knee. They go down to a knee and a sigh of relief as they are into the win column for the first time this year. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys
I'm a
that's
little
skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Get your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for the home team here, it took a few weeks, but they finally get their first one of the season here in Week 4. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they'll sink now to 0-4. And they'll look to get back on the beam next week as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers.